Hey, it's Robert with Pheasant Lane Farm. I hope you're doing well. So, behind me, you can see two great products from our great friends at Arrowquip. Now, I'm kind of new to Arrowquip. Earlier this spring, my wife and I set out to buy our first ever cattle chute. And we had some criteria that if it didn't match, it just wasn't going to make it into the next round of our research phase. Some of the main criteria were ease of operation, safety for us and our cattle, and quality. And when you take those three into account, Arrowquip clearly won all three of those divisions. Now, maybe if I wouldn't have gone through the things I've gone through in the last 3 years, I maybe would have settled with a lesser brand chute. I was in a bad accident, have an arm that's all tore up and is actually sometimes seems to be going backwards. But I wanted something where we could keep this dream of having horses and cattle on this farm and do it safely. And Arrowquip was just the top of all those categories. Now, we were fortunate enough to win a giveaway Arrowquip had going on earlier this spring. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see in the next few videos are stuff that Arrowquip has awarded us. Some of the items you're going to see we went above and beyond and purchased with our own money. That is the case behind me. Over my left shoulder, we have an Arrowquip high pressure bow gate. And over here on my right shoulder, we have an Arrowquip low pressure bow gate. The first question I get all the time is, what's the difference between high pressure and low pressure? Think about it as heavy duty and just a little less heavy duty. If you got cattle where you're going to be crowding them in there, they're going to be a little stressed out. You need something that is going to handle that high pressure. By all means, go with the high pressure. They have panels, they have these bow gates. The chutes are obviously built similar to the high pressure stuff, just a little above and beyond. But now the low pressure, like we have a 40 by 40 dry lot, or 50 by 40, I don't remember right now. A dry lot where cattle can go in and out freely as they choose. We hay them outside. They got a water trough outside. They also have hay inside, water inside. We give them the option to go in and out, whatever they please. The low pressure would work perfectly for that scenario. Last night, I actually, we sunk some new 6x6. Thanks, Dad, for coming out and helping. And we're connecting a loafing shed to our big barn. That's the pasture. I didn't know, do I put a wood fence in there? I really don't want to go through all the hassle of putting high tensile stretched woven wire because it's only a 30-foot stretch. So I said, you know what? We ordered extra of the low pressure panels. We put 3 low pressure panels next to a 12-foot gate, and they are fantastic. Actually, Kiddo came out last night and said, are those going to stay there? And I go, no, they're just temporary till we put a wooden fence in. And she goes, no, you can't put wood in. It won't look as nice as the low pressure panels. So that's that. I guess I need to order some more panels. But we're going to do an in-depth real quick, just answer a lot of the questions I get. But that's the main one. What's the difference between high pressure and low pressure? If cattle are in a high pressure situation, obviously you want the heavy duty stuff. The low pressure stuff, now we run cattle and horses on this farm. The low pressure stuff I think is far superior to any of the round gate panels or round pen panels or gates that I've seen on the market. So let's flip you around and get into that real quick. Next thing I want to say before we do that, actually backtracking a little bit. Now these gates are available in 4 foot, 8 foot, and 10 foot. I do believe. I don't think there's anything else. They have different variations. They have some with the big latch on the top if you're working cattle on horseback. They have a few other different options. You can get them where they're bow-less gates, so it's just the bottom frame, the U shape, and you don't have the top part if you got to drive equipment through these gates or you're on horseback. The low pressure gate, as far as I'm concerned right now, you can only get that in a 10-foot panel, and that's what we have. So we actually have 4 of these high pressure bow gates on the property right now. I have 2 10-footers and 2 8-footers. The 10-footers are already being used. That's another consideration. The side-by-side comparison, this is an 8-foot and that is a 10-foot, and we have 1 of those on the property right now. So let me flip you around, kind of show you the similarities and the differences. And the big thing is Arrowquip has recently upgraded the latch from what I was told. The great friend of mine and dealer that we've been going through, Ross Cockrell from Cockrell Farms, he said they're kind of updating some things. There should be some new products coming out soon. I don't know what those are. If I come across them or I find any to purchase, I will do some videos on those. All right, first thing we're going to look at here is the high pressure gate. Now, if this was a 10-foot, I'm going to give you the specs off of a 10-foot gate to kind of keep the side-by-side fair, I guess you could say. The 10-foot high-pressure bow gate is 222 pounds. Now, just because this is an 8-footer, I'll give you that weight. The 8-foot, as you see in front of you as it sets, is 195 pounds. It's 5.4 inches wide, but that is at the latch. 89 inches tall and 121 inches long. These things are absolutely phenomenal. Now, they have a heavier duty hinge system. They have a little different latch system. Now, as you can see with the gate side by side right now, the bottom frame and the side frames is the same for each, as far as I can tell. I haven't measured the thickness of the square tubing, but they look almost identical. The only difference is at the top of the low pressure, you can see is the same diameter square tubing as the sides and the bottom of both. This one uses a rectangular, a lot stronger. Now, let's talk about the main differences. The main differences on these are going to be the hinges and the latches. Above and beyond the obvious of the inside of this panel is rectangular tubing. You can just tell this stuff is heavy duty. It's very stout. I don't think any bull is going to be able to push through that. On the other hand, the gate on the left, the low pressure panel, it's going to work great for what it's designed to do in areas where the cattle aren't amped up. They're not feeling pressured. And for a dry lot situation, or a, like we use them the front of our pasture, cattle really aren't trying to push out to get out of their pasture very hard. I can't wait to use this for a round pen for horses. I think it's far superior than anything I have seen in the horse market lately. And 2 weeks ago we went to Quarter Horse Congress, looked at all the new panels out on the market, and I haven't really seen a lot of changes lately in the horse industry. And I've been told by some people that the horse people are really starting to gravitate towards this Arrowquip low pressure line, and I can definitely see why. But looking at them both from kind of a front angle, you can see they both have the same gussets, both the same hinge system or pin system as how the gates and the panels hook together. But let's move in a little closer. I'm going to first show you guys the latches, and then we will look at the hinges on these bow gates. So besides the obvious of this gate being built of rectangular tubing and this being a square tubing with an angle iron run through the middle, these are probably where the gates are the most different, is the latches and the hinges. And I've been getting a lot of questions on those. It's hard to tell from pictures, and I get it. I know these products are kind of new, so hopefully we can get out there and explain to people what's going to best fit their needs. So the main difference here is this latch is spring activated in and out, and you can lock it back so it'll swing freely. You can also let this latch out on the high pressure panel, bow gate, and you can actually use it as a slam latch. And it's nice because it'll come back out this way. You can shut it, or you can open it up the opposite way. So you really don't have a use for that unless you need it. And like I said, this is a new style. At the end of the video, we'll go show you what the old style is actually on the 10-footers that we bought. Now, let me flip around over to this side. This, as far as I can tell, the latch mechanism is identical. The only difference is this does not have a spring-activated post. This is just a welded nub. Stud, I guess you can call it. It's actually not just welded on there, it actually runs through the back side here. It's welded on all the way through and works identical as that latch. And pull it out, go through the back. These do add a little bit of width compared to what the other 10-foot bow gates we have, but I think it is a better design in my personal opinion. One other thing I want to mention while we're here is all these verticals are capped, both here on the top. You can't see that one over there, that is capped. The hinge plates, or the pin plates, all look to be done the same. Arrowquips is nice. You can hook 4 panels into an X right here, and it works absolutely perfect. So yeah, I can't see ever really using this style over this style now. A lot of our other gates I have bought aftermarket things similar to this. All our horse stalls are a similar design to this. So this is kind of what feels good for us, what we're used to. So let me flip you around. We're going to do the low pressure bow gate first. I'm going to show you the hinge design on there, and then we'll go over and look at the high pressure. All right, sorry for the Arrowquip shadows on the building. Here you can see there's a tab welded on here, but what's nice is it's not just welded here, it's actually pierced through the back, and I will show you an image of that I'll put in here. But you can see where it's pierced all the way through, it's welded top and bottom. It's just your simple basic hinge design, two pieces with a heavy duty bolt going through. It's a very large bolt. And what's nice here is this top plate, you can see it's welded here and it runs continuously. The side plate actually goes up and kind of crimps it in there. So very, very nice. And I like how it's pierced through construction, and you can see how flush and how thick that plate is there on the back. That is the hinge design for the low pressure panel. All right, so now we're back looking at the high pressure bow gate, or if you want to think about it, the heavier duty of the two options. And you can see we have a, I'm not sure the plastic, propylene, I'm not sure what exactly material that is, but we have a bushing. This stud is welded in the top, it goes all the way down into here. And you can see the hinge is a separate piece that's welded onto a plate, bolted through, but you can also actually see where this plate goes all the way through and protrudes out the back. So obviously a much heavier duty. If you're running cattle in a high pressure scenario, you're going to want the heavier duty hinge design. And another thing I want to say is, I didn't mention earlier, the high pressure panels seem to be, and the bow gates also seem to be about 6 inches taller than what the low pressure are. But we'll get into that when we do the video on the low pressure versus high pressure panels themselves. So that is that. I'm very, very happy with these. And like I said, we're blessed to have all these on our farm. And before I forget, I'm going to run you over and show you the old latch style system and compare it to the new style. All right, we were out here till well after dark last night, so I apologize for the mess. You can see our little Hereford Mini Bull whiskey out there. But over here is what we're going to focus on right now. This is what I was told is the old style. So you can't open it from here. It has to be right here, which is nice. You can swing both ways. But this plate actually has, I don't know what exactly you call it. I'm going to call it like a gate limiter. So if it's on this way and you slam the gate, it can't go past, just for video purposes. And then you can slam it from this direction. So with that being said, this is a little simpler. I think it has less moving parts. I don't see that spring on the other side breaking at all. And for our purposes, we're only ever going to push this gate in. I have to remove this pole right here. That's the new one. But very nice slam latches, as you can see there. All right, well, that's going to wrap this video up. Once again, we have a high pressure 8-foot panel and a low pressure 10-foot panel. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Leave a comment. You can email me directly at pheasantlanefarm@gmail.com. Pheasant Lane Farm on Facebook. I kind of got away from it for a while. We've just been so busy doing other things, but I really like interacting with all the people on our Facebook page. So we will definitely be getting back to that. And there the sun comes out finally. But so far, I've used 2 of the 10-foot high pressure bow gates over here. We've used 5 of the low pressure panels, which I feel that those are going to be probably the most popular item on this farm, just because the ease of mobility, setting them up for horses or taking them on overnight trail rides, making little paddocks for the horses to stay in. I'm even thinking about taking some low pressure panels to our county fair next year, so I don't have to buy different panels for if Kiddo really gets into the show cattle. So a lot of options. I'm having Zooks Welding make a bracket up to hang a few off the side of the stock trailer. But very, very excited. What we have left to play with, that'll be in future videos. So I have 2 of these 8-foot high pressure bow gates here. I have 1, 2, 3 or 4 more of the low pressure 10-foot panels. I have an 8-foot high pressure panel. I have a 12 and a 14-foot high pressure panel. I have 2 alley bows and 2 4-foot high pressure panels. So we still got a lot of stuff to play with. So please stick around, and hopefully you guys can check out those videos as they come out. All right, I better get to work. I got some stuff to do today, and I gotta go pick up that show heifer. So yeah, what am I getting into? Horses, show horses, and I don't know. It's the good life. Take care, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one. As always, make smart decisions, and God bless.